You've seen the TikTokers, the YouTube gurus, even I'm guilty of this, selling the whole dream of start on Fiverr and make $10,000 a month working from your laptop. It sounds amazing, right? Like, who wouldn't want that? But here's the problem. What happens after you start? What happens when the fantasy actually becomes a reality? Now, recently I've been seeing a lot of comments about this, and some people have even been calling me out, saying that I make Fiverr look too easy, that I don't talk enough about the downsides. So today, I feel like we need to have a real conversation. I'm gonna break down how Fiverr can absolutely ruin your life if you're not careful. And I say this as someone who's been through it all. Having my account flagged, losing money, dealing with nightmare clients, and even arguing with Fiverr support, and much, much more. However, this video is not about scaring you away from Fiverr. It's about preparing you for what's to come. Because if you use Fiverr the wrong way, it will either chew you up and just spit you out, or you'll be running on a hamster wheel the whole time, wishing that you hadn't left your 9-to-5 job. But if you use it the right way, it can be a launchpad to something literally incredible. So let's talk about what people aren't telling you. Now, here's the fantasy that gets sold to freelancers. You work 2 hours a day. You travel the world. You make passive income with easy gigs. Now, I'm not saying that that is impossible to achieve, because some people do make it happen. But for the majority of people starting out, here's what actually happens. You create a Fiverr gig, then nothing happens. You wait and you wait, and of course you wait some more. Finally, you hear that Fiverr notification sound. Oh, it's a first order. Ah, but wait, it's a $5 order. And the client, what do they want? Well, they want a whole Hollywood production for $5. You then spend the next couple of days grinding just so you can over deliver, because, well, it's your first client and you need to get a good review. Then what happens? Revision request. Then another. And another. You finally deliver, you're exhausted and they ghost you. Or worse, they leave you a 2-star review because they expected more. And that's your first 2-star review, so not got really much hope of getting any more clients. Welcome to Fiverr. It's a brutal wake-up call. And if you're not mentally prepared to grind, manage expectations, and play the long game, Fiverr will break you before you even begin. But these are all challenges that you can overcome with 3 simple strategies. The first is to set realistic goals. You need to understand that success on Fiverr doesn't just happen overnight. So start setting achievable milestones and celebrating small wins. Next, you need to communicate clearly. Be transparent with clients about what you can deliver and in what time frame. Learn to manage expectations, and this will reduce the risk of negative reviews. Now, of course, this can backfire sometimes, because some clients won't want to go with you if you can't produce a piece of work in the given time that they want it to happen. And lastly, continuous improvement. Each order should be an opportunity to improve your skills and services. This is the only way you'll attract better clients in the future. But now, let's talk about the biggest problem with Fiverr, the pricing trap. As a seller, you're incentivized to make everything cheaper, because you're not just competing with other freelancers in your country, you're competing globally with people charging $5 for work that you should be charging $100 plus for. And sure, you can charge premium rates, but try doing that with 0 reviews and no social proof. Before you know it, Fiverr traps you in a low price, high effort cycle that's really hard to break out of. And the worst part is, you did this to yourself. So to avoid falling into this trap, you need to implement these next 3 strategies. The first is value-based pricing. Focus on the value that you bring to clients rather than competing solely on price. Focus on highlighting your USPs. What makes you so special? What are the highlights that you can bring? Next is finding the perfect niche. You need to choose a niche where You can differentiate yourself and command higher prices due to the specialized skills you have. And lastly, gradual price increases. As you gain reviews and build a reputation, gradually increase your prices to reflect your value. And don't be scared to do this. It took me literally a year before I did this, and trust me, I regretted not doing it sooner, because what happened? Well, it reduced the amount of clients I had, which actually was a good thing, but it still made me earn more money from the reduced amount of clients. Now, if you're not careful, Fiverr will grind you down, both mentally, physically, and emotionally. At first, of course, it seems harmless. You're just taking orders, right? But then it becomes obsessive. You wake up, check Fiverr. You go to sleep, you check Fiverr. You go outside for a walk, what do? You check Fiverr. The dopamine hit from orders is addictive. You start chasing seller levels, you optimize your thumbnails, your titles, your keywords, everything. And suddenly, you're not freelancing. You're instead on a digital hamster wheel. Therefore, you need to avoid getting consumed by the Fiverr grind, because let me say this, Fiverr is not your friend, and the fact is, you could be making great money today and be gone tomorrow. You could even have 100 5-star reviews, but one bad review can tank your entire business if you're not careful. And Fiverr will promote you when it benefits them, and they'll demote you just as fast. Your impressions start dropping, your gig disappears from search. You message support only to receive a polite copy and pasted message back, basically saying that everything's normal and your gig is active. You see, the truth again is Fiverr protects buyers more than sellers, in a sense that they'll cancel orders for buyers without even consulting you first. And honestly, this happened to me just the other day. And here's something nobody talks about. I like to call it the Fiverr identity crisis. You start Fiverr thinking, I want to be a designer, a strategist, a creative. But over time, you say yes to everything. You stop being creative. You become a robot. You tie your self-worth to Fiverr ratings. Fiverr makes you feel like you're building your business, but in reality, you're actually building theirs. So to avoid losing your identity as a freelancer, you need to start setting boundaries that don't align with your goals and start pursuing personal projects to help you stay engaged and motivated. So, the big question, is Fiverr evil? Well, not exactly. Fiverr is just a tool, but if you don't use it intentionally, it will use you. So here's how to make sure that you don't get ruined by Fiverr. Start with a strategy. Pick a niche with real long-term value. Then protect your boundaries. Set delivery times that you can actually meet and say no when needed. Use Fiverr as a launch pad, not your home. Build an email list, a portfolio, and a brand outside of Fiverr. And trust me, I'm talking from experience here. I'm only just building myself outside of Fiverr after 4 years, which again, I should have done a lot sooner. Then raise your prices quickly. Once you have reviews, increase your rates. Don't wait for a year like I did, because you'll be wasting your time and losing money. Then go ahead and create some systems. These could be templates, scripts, automations, anything to reduce the mental labor. And remember, you're not a task rabbit. You're a business owner. So use Fiverr as a tool without becoming the tool. Now, let's end on a positive note, because without Fiverr, I wouldn't be where I am today. Fiverr can be a great place to start, but it's a terrible place to stay stuck. For me, Fiverr has opened insane opportunities. Like, 2 of my clients have flown me out to Bali for 10 days, and also the other client flew me to Amsterdam for a weekend. And that would not have happened in no way had I not have met them on Fiverr. So no, Fiverr won't ruin your life unless you let it.